Hello and welcome to the second daily piece of the action. We're on the way to the Climate First, People First rally in the centre of Copenhagen, which is one of three major days of actions across the city. Now, this rally has been organised by all of the NGOs and it's the biggest and fluffiest of all the events. So tens of thousands of people are gathering in the square above us right now and we're going to go check it out.
Hello again! How are you doing? Yes! Amazing! 100,000 people gathered in Copenhagen to raise their voice for a fair and ambitious and legally binding deal. Thank you for showing the respect!
Let us say to our leaders this final message. We want you to be able to go home before Christmas and look your children and your grandchildren in the eye and say, we were called upon to make some brave and courageous decisions. They must be able to look their children and the grandchildren in the eyes and say, and we did, and we secured your future, we worked for climate justice, and we can create a new and prosperous and sustainable and green world that we can all feel a sense of pride and that we know that we can address the future with confidence. All right.
So we're in the thick of it now, 100,000 people coming past from every single different grouping. You know, you've got the anarchists right the way through to the major political parties, Greenpeace, Friends of the Earth, absolutely everyone's here. Got everyone here, including the famous survivor balls. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. People love the survivor ball. I just hope everybody gets one soon before it's too late.
Has Denmark ever seen anything this big in terms of rally?
I don't think so. Maybe in the 60s, I'm not sure. This has to be.
And how likely do you think the political leaders inside the Bella Centre will actually listen to this message and actually make change based on this rally?
They won't be able to completely ignore it, that's obvious. I mean, 100,000 people, that's just too big a statement to ignore, I hope.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Jacob. Already you're starting to see a really big police presence in the city. If you just look at this line of cops to the right-hand side of me, all in riot gear for what is essentially a friendly family protest. Arguably the biggest demonstrations on climate change haven't been here in the West, they've been in the developing world. In 2008 you saw food price riots in over 60 different countries. Hundreds of thousands of people took to the street and actually the political level of the process led to the overthrowing of the Haitian government. Why were so many people on the street? Food prices had doubled within 9 months. Now why had they doubled? Because of a so-called response to climate change. Biofuels, where you take crops, turn them into fuel and put them into cars, had competed so much for that same food that they had led to massive food price rises. And you saw people starving and going hungry on the street. So arguably the biggest demonstrations on climate change have been against some of the solutions to climate change, or so-called solutions. One of the questions that we're going to be trying to answer over the next week is what sort of actions actually make a difference to the negotiations? How do you influence this country here's policy on a particular issue during the COP? Is it through these sort of mass participation rallies, or is it through the more extreme, the more direct action movements that we'll be seeing taking over the floor later in the week? One thing I will say for this rally though is it's got a really nice presence, a really nice feel. You actually get the feeling that these are normal people on this rally. Tens of thousands of them come out of their home in a really small country. Denmark's only got a population of something like 5 million, and to see 100,000 people on the streets here today is a pretty incredible feat.